So to maybe try to avoid the impalatability of corruption as an overt practice in budget making, because a lot of what we say from across society is that budgeted corruption is one of the issues that we have. That's why we can't actually be sure that all 758 billion shillings goes towards education, for example.
Yeah.
So we choose to say that maybe there isn't an understanding of what ought to be done. That when you say 758 billion shillings ought to go towards education, that 758 billion shillings actually goes towards education. So maybe there's too much work. Maybe there are too many lines to cross. Maybe there are too many children.
Right.
Maybe there's too much too much of a need in terms of infrastructure. Are there any other reasons as to why 758 billion shillings in the year 2026-2027 would not go towards education?
Yes and no. Overarching, budgetary allocations are the aspirations of the government of the day as to where they want to put their priorities. And so you put your money where your eyes or where your mouth is, as it were. I'm
Literally.
not sure. Yeah. However, there are usually challenges. One is when you overshoot revenue. You expected that you will get a lot of revenue, say 2.5 or 3 trillion revenue. And then what you get is a lot lower. And so there is the budget that is read and is allocated. And then there is the reallocation that happens across the year as they say, what is most important, what is most what is most urgent. And then that one gets funding and something else does not. Again, the other overarching reason why would be delay in donor funding. Sometimes you make budgetary allocations because a donor has told you, we will give you money. And then a president like Donald Trump comes to power and says, no, we will not give you money. And then now you have to readjust your budget to make room for such an eventuality.
Why would you budget on something that you do not have?
Yes.
But that is what a budget is. It's futuristic. It's futuristic.
But if you make, I'm sorry, Ramogi,
Yes.
if you budget with your salary, you know that your salary is 50 shillings. So you budget based on what you know you have coming in.
Right.
And perhaps where I'm going with this question is, should we not get to a time where you actually budget with what you know you have so that you don't run into the situations that we're speaking of?
That would happen if we have sufficient surplus for, say, 10 years, and then we save that surplus, and then now we start using that surplus to budget, as opposed to budgeting against revenue, against appropriations in aid, against donor funding. But as it is right now, we do budget with expected revenue in mind. Appropriations in aid, you go renewing your driving license. That is budgeted for. We do budgeting with in mind with donor funding. So a budget is futuristic in nature, and that is a reality. And donors' funds will always be put into play, because if then the money comes and there's no budgetary allocation for it, the Treasury has resources that it cannot spend. His hands are tied. He has money, but he does not have the legal vote to use that money. So it has to be in budget, so that now by the time it comes, he knows this money needs to go immediately. Now, so the second reason is the donor funding delaying and or not coming at all. Now, coming to the real issues, which is the education sector, we have in history, not too long ago, seen instances where an education officer registers a school in his county. And the school has a board and the school has accounts, bank accounts, and the school has a motto, and school uniform, and even some pictures, fictitious pictures, but the school is non-existent. The school is nowhere to be found. And so there are instances where inspectors find this out, and of course that money is reallocated. But the major reason, and even that one, I know the way it sounds more like a governance issue. The major reason is corruption. Where now someone just redirects funds that are meant to help the public or in the service delivery to their own personal use.
Ramogi, you just mentioned